Hi everyone, I'm back with the stories and today I'll discuss on my education and career and how things went off and what I learned. So, starting with my schooling, to be honest, I was an averagely good student. Like at least till my mother was there, I was really good because I had this emotional, bond with my mom because she used to sit there for my studies. Whenever I used to sit for studying during my finals, she used to be there sitting and giving me company, being ill herself. So I used to feel bad, I need to study and score good. Otherwise, her sitting here and she will be hurt and I'll feel bad. And she was a very innocent person for me and like very pure of someone. Parents are like that for us, especially moms. So we feel that they are the purest of soul. So I used to have this feeling for my mom. So I was scoring really good, and it was actually something like this ki I have seen in my entire life till now. Till the time she was there, I was scoring really good. I was actually getting good marks, and my brain was actually working well. Once she left, in 10th, after that I could never score that good. I think I never became that good of a student or that good of a child. I became so carefree ki ab kya, even if I score bad, nobody is hurting that bad. So how does it matter? But anyway, I had this ambition to become an independent person, and that was also because of her, because I have seen her working and being that independent person and being always ready to help others. So I had this thinking, I want to be like this, where I am always ready if somebody is in need, or if I want something for myself, I can have it with my own money. Though anything like that didn't happen so well the way I thought, but yeah, I had this ambition back of the mind, though I was not studying that good. Still, I took PCM, and because, as I told you, I was a good student comparatively, and in my house, and my family had this feeling, and I also had this thing, I'll do something good in life ahead, and I should take like every others. Like if you are good, like you should go for engineering. So I took PCM, and I think that was a big blunder I made, because I should have taken arts or commerce, I feel now, because now I think that to actually become a science student and become an engineer, you need to be little imaginary and like that inventory mindset, not even like inventory if you can say, but a new something, having that curiosity and having that trying to do something new, try something new. That kind of a mindset you need to have to become an engineer, to become to take science as a subject. And I personally am not that sort of a person at all. Like even in my foods also, apart from paneer and Chinese and pizza, I have never tried something out of the way ki, let's see what is this or that. Even beverages also, if you ask me like what I want, then I'll go for cold coffee, either hot coffee or cold drink. I won't go for anything else. So I'm that basic of a person. So I think that I shouldn't have taken it. That was a mistake. But anyway, I took it and I did my 11th, 12th with that. And in my 12th, I couldn't even score, 70% plus. And the biggest blunder is that it was not because of PCM. Because in PCM I scored in 60s, which was pretty good. That's how I studied. I didn't went to coaching much. Like for hardly few months I used to go and then got back, and I liked to sit at home and do my own studies. So I was like that sort of a person anyway. So I studied in that manner. Didn't go out of the way to study, like sitting for a whole night and whole day. So I was scoring. I scored almost like good. Okay. In PCM, I was satisfied with it. In English also, I got in 90s. In my extra subject that we people take, for scoring, for making a good percentage in 12th, which usually people take as physical education or they take as computer science. In our school, there was one more subject, entrepreneurship, as a extra additional subject we could have taken. So I took that. a friend of mine suggested it, and I took that as a subject. And I was scoring good in my school exams, in midterms and all. I was scoring in 80s in that. So I felt it is like this only additional exam. I had no idea that entrepreneurship is actually a core subject of commerce. So you can't take it that lightly. I took it very lightly, like a moral science paper. I used to do like this only in my school, just reading it and going and giving the exam and writing down entrepreneurs are very innovative and creative persons, and they have very different ideas and all that stuff. Pura us pe likh ke aa jao. That's what I did in my exam as well. I think I studied, though I have studied for it because a good long gap was given for it. So I did my study, not that thoroughly, not ratifying or learned everything, but I did it pretty much. I've read the whole book and I gave the exam. I scored in 50s. I actually got 57 or something like that in my entrepreneurship subject, and because of which I couldn't make it to that 70% marking also in my 12th. That was so hurtful to me, I can't tell you. It was not because of the PCM thing. I was okay with it. That's how I studied, but for my extra subject, that additional subject, it hurt me so bad because I couldn't score and get that 70% marking in as a whole in my 12th. My dad was really sad and upset, and that made me, for the first time after my mother passed away, I felt very unlucky and sad that I couldn't make him happy. Otherwise he was never the kind of a person who used to complain ki, why have you scored this or that. Nothing. He had no business. He was never so pressurizing and all, but that thing really hurt him, and it hurt me as well, and I felt so unfair. Okay, why I studied the same way as I was studying for my midterms, and I was scoring so good in entrepreneurship. Why did I didn't get that way in this exam, in my finals? And I felt so unfair. Life is really unfair and I'm so unlucky. I lost my mother also at an early age. I didn't deserve it, and this is also what I didn't deserve it. So that's how my schooling ended, with a very sad note. I was very upset and felt really bad because many of my friends, they scored much less marks than me in PCM, and they still got a 70% above, because the subjects they took, they got in 80s and 90s in that additional subject, and I was here with 67 or 66% only because of the additional subject. So anyway, that's the schooling, how it ended. And then I went to college. I went out in Bhopal. My dad also felt I should go out and explore and do my studies away from here. I also went there and chose civil engineering. And it was no any kind of a very inventory thought, but it was something that I felt I don't want computer science as a subject, because I was not so fond of computer ever. I never felt like sitting in front of computer and doing stuff. So I thought कि ये तो नहीं लेना है. Then electronics and electrical, I cut it off because I thought that I was good in physics and I couldn't score that good in my finals. So that hurt. For that hurt, I cut it off electrical and electronics as well. And I don't regret it, because in the first sem, when we had to give all the subjects as for the exam, I realized that thank God I didn't score. Sometimes when you feel that you got unlucky or unfair, you really studied good for this and you were good at this subject and you still couldn't get that good marks, you feel that you were unlucky, or things didn't work out the way you wished. But somehow it saves you sometimes. So I felt like that when I went through electronical and electrical subjects. I felt chalo अच्छा ही हुआ I didn't took this. Finally, cutting off everything else, mechanical, so I felt it's a core boys thing, so I can't go there and I'm not interested in all that stuff. So civil was something I felt I can do. I was good in drawing and all, so I can go for architecture. Even if nothing works, I'll do designing or something. That was my logic to choose civil, and I chose also. Okay. So yeah, I started doing my engineering and started hating it at the, in the manner that I can't tell you, I can't express. I didn't like at all sitting in the class and studying all those subjects. Hardly like just 1-2 subject in this whole 8-semester 4-year thing. The only 2 subjects I remember and I think I was little good at was surveying and remote sensing, nothing else. So I used to think that this is not something I want to do. Like, I will be very unhappy if I go ahead with technical field. That's why I chose to leave, and I didn't leave it like that. Okay, I was doing Shivani and I was with the guides. I was giving exams like everybody else. But for one semester in my 3rd year, I sat and took library books out there. It was my testing. Like, I decided to leave the stream, and before that I wanted it a clear note. Like, I always want clarity. I have realized one thing in my life, that uncertainty, confusion, these things irritate me a lot. I can make a wrong choice, I can go for something wrong and make a mistake, but I need to be clear about it at that time. I can't be confused and uncertain. I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know what I want to do and why I'm doing this. So I like clarity. So for that purpose, I for one semester decided that I'll take books from library, I'll study them very thoroughly, and then I'll give the exams. If I score good, if I really like the subject, then I'll go with engineering. Otherwise, I'll leave it, haath jodungi, and I'll not go further. I'll just complete my graduation and leave the subject, leave the stream there and then. That's what happened. I studied. I actually scored good, from my earlier semesters. But I lost interest. Like, I realized that I didn't like it. I was just studying because I was pressurized with the fact that I am not choosing guide this semester. I'm not studying with Shivani, and so if I don't study nicely, I'll fail. So that was the pressure with which I was studying, and that's why I scored good. And it was not because of something I was very fond of or interested in. And being a core subjects, student, if you don't like numericals, if you can't do numericals passionately and interestingly, you are just wasting your time and the subject. So I finally, that result came, and I decided though I scored good, but I didn't like it, and I will never like this subject. It is very pressurizing for me. I'm not liking the main things as well. So I left that stream. Then on, I was very light. Whatever I score, I'll get and just leave and prepare for other exams. My dad also suggested that there is banking as an exam and you can become a banker, and and there are people who he knows who has done this, being an engineer. So I researched on all the exams, UPSC, MPPSC, collected books of SSC as well. In fact, I joined a coaching for 2-3 months of SSC to get to knowledge, to just get knowledge about how the study goes, how the subjects are, and how we give exams. And doing all my research and analysis, I realized that banking will be the perfect thing for me, because firstly, I loved the subjects. All the subjects were very relevant and good, interesting. And second, the study is also comparatively less from other exams. So you need to be fast and accurate, and be in the present moment. The subjects were really interesting, like current affairs, and from that mindset, now I've given the exam, so I know how difficult things can get. But that time it was like, current affairs too. Being a young generation person, you should be aware of what is going currently in your economy and in geopolitically, and what's going currently in your country. So I felt all the subjects are good, so I'm doing this. That day and till last year I was in that mindset, and I kept giving exams, kept scoring marks, like where I felt just 1-2 marks I'm leaving, just 4-5 marks I'm getting left out. Next time it's happening. Though in 2021 I got the intuition, that one click you get, no, from your, that instinct you feel ki this was the best I gave and it didn't work out, so maybe it's not meant to happen. So I had that time, that point of moment as well, where I felt ki nahi hoga shayad, but I still couldn't leave. That's kind of like a characteristic I have, I can say, that I just don't like to leave things from my side. It makes me feel that I'll be in guilt, I'll be in regret. If something else leaves me, so it's good. It will be a, that I feel ki the front battle you can lose. You will feel that insult, I couldn't get it and things didn't work out. I tried till my end and everything. But the end of battle, that regret, that lifetime guilt, that one last attempt would have worked out, that one last try would have worked out, or I'm anyway not happy here, why I didn't try there more. So that last battle I wanted to win, at least I won't regret it later. And on that, just on that thought, I kept trying. Many times things have been in the way that I felt that I should leave. My dad was also in the end got against the fact that I'm still trying when nothing is working out. I'm simply wasting time. And kind of I was, because it was so clear that after trying so hard, if you are not able to make it, it's a clear sign, you need to get up. But I just couldn't. I felt that this was the best of try I can make for my career, for my life. After that, so anyway, I have to cry and do anything. So why not to, give my all till my last shot. But as I told you, life has its own plan. Many things happen in between these 7 years. And in my last attempt, the most tragic thing happened. In one way, it just, it hurt me, but it also released all that passion and all that madness for being to become a banker. After that, I never cried, for banking and why I didn't got selected or anything, because the other side of the pain was so up head and higher to what happened and what I could have become, what could have I done if I became a banker or something. So the day I got my prelims result last year and I got selected, I was preparing. I was really excited, because I was pretty sure that maybe some magic will happen. It's my last attempt and I'll do something. And I was alone with my dad there. Next day, my dad collapsed. And after that, he didn't go. He couldn't get up from his bed. He was just in the bed till the time he was alive. So that's what happened. And I remember, after 20 days was my exam, my mains exam, 20th October. And for all 20 days I was just taking care of him and doing GA whenever I used to get time. It was not that I didn't get time. So whenever I got time, I used to do general awareness only. No mathematics, no English, no reasoning, nothing, because I didn't have time, to be very honest, and I was not regretting it at all. I was like, bhaad mein jaye. Right now my dad is more important than anything else. So like this, I did the study. I went for the exam, and I'll tell you, this was the first time in last 7 years I gave an exam with such a light and free mindset. Because मैंने पढ़ा ही नहीं था, तो किस बात का डर? There was no fear at all, no scariness. I already saw my dad, who used to work every single day, who was so conscious about his health, and who was going all well in his 70s as well. So I had this mindset that this man will live for 80, 90s at least. He will go till 80, 90, and I'm safe till then. So I had this mindset. That whole thing collapsed, and that day it was not only him who collapsed, but my head also collapsed somewhere. So that was so big of a shock for me, that this exam was very ordinary thing till then. And I went with a very free mindset. and the exam went so well, I can't tell you. I scored the best till now in these 7 years in all the subjects. I couldn't get the selection. It was because of GA, which I was actually studying, but I couldn't score. I couldn't crack the sectional also. So that was the answer, that it was just not meant to happen. I simply just wasted my years, or you can say I just wanted it, so I put my all, but it was not fated for me, and I don't regret it. The result also came. I was in fact pretty happy that that even in 7 years, the first time I went with the mindset that I don't care what happens, and I scored the best in all, in mathematics, in English, in reasoning. All my marks were really fascinating to me. So I was okay with it, and I didn't cry for the first time with my mains result, because as I told you that already one shock was so big to me that the other anything else was like okay, it's okay, it just happened. So that's how I just got the answer. And that day and today, it's been like 8-9 months now, at least 8 months have gone. I never regretted, to be very honest. Not for once I've cried that why I couldn't become a banker or why I couldn't get selected. It just, that day with that result and with that scenario of my life, the pressure, the passion and everything, that whole effort I gave for the exam, it all went off. And I never look back. I don't regret it, to be very honest. I feel that, I gave my all, but maybe it was just not meant to happen. Maybe that's how my life was supposed to go for so many years. So it just went that way. And today when I look back, and if I say that what I learned from it, I used to have this mindset, that maybe if I try till the end, I won't regret it, and that satisfaction will help me go ahead in life. And it happened. I actually don't regret it. I actually, even if I say it out to everybody out there, sometimes I feel bad, and I really do, because I couldn't take my dad to the foreign trip, or that, pamper him with my own money the way I wanted to. So I couldn't do all those things. So that's painful to me, but I don't regret sitting for that exam, because I really wanted it. And I think if you really want something, if you really love something, you need to put your all. You need to take that risk and be ready to face the circumstances. Be ready to go with the consequences of it. If it doesn't work, what will happen? And I think I very courageously took that risk and sat for it, and I'm facing the consequences. But I don't regret it, because I think that other way around would have also been painful to me, and that would have gone like a lifelong way. Why I didn't try, why I didn't put my all for the last one time. So instead of that, I did. I don't carry regret, but I do carry pain. And sometimes it is not that, either you regret or you don't, either you be happy or you be sad. Sometimes it's the middle way round, where you get the peace over the fact that you gave all your efforts, and things just didn't work out in your way, and so it's okay. You don't have to carry the regret or guilt. But at the same time, you also carry the pain because of the price you paid for it, and that costed you a part of your life. Because the pain that I will never be again able to call my dad and tell him that, I got selected, or, I want to take you on a trip, or I want to do this for you. That will never happen again. So sometimes it is just, a balance of both. You somewhere at one place, you free yourself from that regret and guilt for the rest of your life, but you also carry the pain, and you have to live with it for the rest of your life. Okay, so that was the story for today, and see you next week. Bye.